Clark County Today is presented by Connell Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting connellrealestate.com. Clark County Today is brought to you by Target Zero with the goal of eliminating traffic fatalities in Washington by 2030. Take the pledge today.
Welcome everyone, Jacob Granneman here with your Tuesday evening update from Clark County Today. Tomorrow marks a full year since schools shut down statewide as the COVID-19 pandemic spread across the state of Washington. On Monday, Governor Jay Inslee signed an emergency proclamation pushing K-12 schools statewide to offer all students access to in-person learning no later than mid-April. Under the proclamation, schools would need to provide 30% of education through in-person instruction at a minimum of 2 days per week, while still providing full remote options for students or families who need it. The governor and other health experts say evidence continues to mount showing growing behavioral and mental health problems for many young people, as well as a widening educational gap that especially impacts traditionally marginalized communities. For many students, schools represent more than a chance to be at education. They provide social emotional support, counseling services, and meals for those who need it. Some Clark County districts are considering 4-day-a-week in-person learning for some earlier grade levels. The rate of new COVID-19 cases continues to fall in Clark County, moving from 103 per 100,000 people to just under 89 per 100,000 people over the past week. Clark County Public Health reported 30 new cases since Monday, along with one additional death. Active cases rose slightly to 259, and hospitalizations ticked up a bit, with 19 confirmed and 3 suspected cases, making just under 4% of total bed space. To date, the county has reported 18,843 confirmed cases and 232 deaths, including 24 that are still under investigation. Vancouver City Council has given approval for staff to look into potentially selling a building on Grand Avenue south of Mill Plain that formerly housed a day center for homeless people known as the Navigation Center. The city is considering selling the 26,000 square foot building to Fort Vancouver Regional Library to be used as a new administrative offices following a major flood that damaged the library's former home near Mill Plain and I-5. That site, which is on the Register of Historical Places, could potentially become a home to a community arts center, a business incubator, or other uses. Any money from the sale of the Grand Avenue building would be set aside to be used in providing services to homeless populations. The day center shut down at the start of the pandemic and has not reopened. Neighbors had complained about an influx of homeless individuals who came to use the day center, but then often remained in the area when it was closed each afternoon. Several city council members said they would support finding another homeless service site, but only if it is open 24 hours a day. The city has formed a joint executive council with Clark County in an effort to create a regional approach to addressing issues of homelessness in the area. There are big changes to the ways fans can watch high school football games for the rest of the abbreviated season. Here's Paul Valencia with more.
Makeshift bleachers outside of Kiggins Bowl? Finding space along a hillside outside of Mackenzie Stadium? Those are a couple of ways to watch a football game. Starting this week, many, but not all fans, many fans of Class 4A and 3A football teams will be able to watch games the more traditional way, inside the stadium. There should be full bands as well, and full cheerleader squads. In all, there could be around 1,000 people social distancing themselves in stadiums. Late last week, the governor changed the rules, and outdoor stadiums can have up to 25% capacity. This was big news for the big schools in Southwest Washington. They had no fans in their first 3 weeks of games. There are 4 playing dates left on the schedule for the big schools, and now more people will get to witness these games in person. The small schools have had limited number of fans at their games all season. They will be able to have more this week as well, but this is the last week on the football schedule for the small schools. For more, see our story on clarkcountytoday.com.
The consensus of 3 Vancouver lawmakers from the 17th Legislative District during Monday's town hall was clear. They believe it's time to reopen the Capitol in Olympia and assume decision-making back from the governor to give power back to the legislators who were voted by the state to govern. House Representatives Paul Harris, Vicki, Kraft, and Senator Lynda Wilson spoke candidly for an hour and a half about the coronavirus pandemic, vaccinations, and getting businesses back to work in Washington. Wilson said it's difficult for businesses to retain their employees and and serve their customers with the constant ping-ponging between phase 1, 2, and 3 as coronavirus cases and hospitalizations are going down and more people are getting vaccinated. Harris would like to see a full-scale timeline to reopen the state. Kraft said she is concerned about what she sees as short-term and long-term effects of a COVID-19 vaccination. She said she believes getting a vaccination should be a personal choice and not a mandate. To find out more about the town hall discussion, see our story at clarkcountytoday.com. Well, C-Tran's annual report for 2020 is out, and they show a significant decline in ridership due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This mirrors the trend both in Portland and nationally. However, C-Tran says their decline wasn't as bad as many other transit agencies. C-Tran offers the only bus service across the river into Portland. Their commuter or express bus service ridership experienced a steep decline due to the pandemic, but had a small recovery in the fall. They only had 971 boardings on an average weekday last year, down from over 3,000 in 2016. Bus ridership peaked nearly 2 decades ago at 7.7 million boardings and is now around 6 million boardings. Costs have nearly tripled during that time frame. The freight box recovery rate is just 14% of operating costs. C-Tran has not yet published their 2020 financial data. Go to clarkcountytoday.com to read the full story. One high school freshman from Ridgefield has won first place and $100 for her essay to the Sons of the American Revolution's Night Essay Competition. Elizabeth Swift and her parents, Evangeline and David, first heard of the competition from Elizabeth's grandmother, who is a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. The family does home education, and Evangeline says they are always looking for ways to spark an interest in learning. In her essay, Elizabeth discussed the events that led up to the Boston Massacre and how it shaped the coming war. The assignment took many hours of focused research and reading to complete and was then submitted to SAR for review. She now heads to the state level and possibly nationals, where she could win $5,000. Visit clarkcountytoday.com to learn more. Well, there you have it. Those are the stories we've got for you today. You can share your thoughts with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube, where we encourage you to like and subscribe to stay up to date. If you like what you're seeing and hearing, there's a way you can help. Share us with your friends and family. If you'd like to share a news tip or story suggestion with us, those can be emailed to news@clarkcountytoday.com. From all of us, I'm Jacob Granneman. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back with you again tomorrow.